Hello, welcome to Dayoth Gaming. I'm your host, Talion. We are back with some more Star Control 2, the Ur-Quan Masters. We have just finished talking to Admiral Zex, and we found out that he has some Shofixti maidens. So these may be the Shofixti that the Melnorme mentioned about being in VUX space. We did find another Shofixti, a male, down here in Delta Gorno? Yes. So, to get the maidens, we have to go find some creature. I'm not sure where. I thought it was in Draconis, but I'm not 100% sure. But if we go based off of the language that they gave us, the Lichnas, or Lichnas, it sounds like it could be this, like Linchas, but I don't know what that pro or pra is. I'm not sure what that last part is. Maybe it's telling us which system it's in. That I don't know. But we might come up here and just check it out. It just feels like that may be what it is. For some reason I thought Draconis was up here. And apparently I was wrong. I was way off. So anyway, let us come down here. We are going to leave the solar system. And we are going to return back home. Because we have a couple of other things we need to do. We need to go talk to Melnorme, because we have a lot of biological data to give them. And then we also need to go to planet Earth. And... planet Earth, and actually getting our ship upgraded, because we have a lot of minerals. This should be taking us near. Yeah, there it is. Let's go talk to the Melnorme first. If you have not determined, this game has a lot of lore, a lot of things that you need to be aware of or write down for notes. That is one thing I like about the game. It's the other thing that makes it very tricky, because there is so much to be aware of.
Look out! Boy, what a close call! Captain, why did you try to run down that Kohr-Ah Ur-Quan vessel? You almost smashed it into flinders. What? You didn't see it? Surely you... Oh, never mind. Now, what can we do for you today?
Well, let's sell this stuff.
What would you like to sell, Captain?
Oh, we got a lot of alien life forms to give you.
The 471 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 942 credits.
That is a lot. That's going to get us a lot of not technology, but a lot of information.
What trade items would you like to buy today?
Well, we are still in the business for information.
How wonderful, Captain.
What can you tell us still about alien races? We're still trying to get through that.
The cowardly Spatty live at the single planet orbiting Epsilon Gruis. They do not actually live on their world, rather they reside on its airless moon. The reason? A xenomorphic species which craves the sweet-flavored flesh of the Spatty has been transported to the surface of their planet and makes every attempt to devour the poor Spatty. I'm certain that the Spatty would be forever in your debt if you were to eliminate these creatures from their planet. What? You fear the alien creatures will find you a treat also? Fear not. Our data reveals the beasts are not interested in your species. Should you wish to consult with the Spatty Ruling Council, you will need to know the secret Spatty cipher, a password which is Huffy Muffy. Guppy.
I almost feel like that should have been one of the first things that we got for alien races, because we got that a long time ago. It's insane. As I said, it's really frustrating because sometimes these information you get, you're already aware of it, and you're like the ores, we knew about them already. The Spothy, we already dealt with them, and they've already hidden inside their planet. Now the Pekunk, the Druge, let's see, there's the Bolvixi, which we need to go to, Thordash, stuff like that. No, we still have some things that we learned, but some of it's just like, we already know this. Alright, what else do you have for us?
Like you Earthlings, when the war with the Ur-Quan was lost, the Cyrene chose to be slave-shielded. Their new world is at Betelgeuse. The Cyrene starbase is crewed by the starship commanders and crew who were decommissioned at the end of the war. Though the Cyrene hate the Ur-Quan with a vengeance, they are unlikely to offer you assistance unless you reveal to them the truth behind the tragedy of their original homeworld, Syra, which was destroyed by the birth of a Mycon deep child a century ago.
That's good to know, but I'm pretty sure they're going to want to have proof. So we're going to possibly have to find this deep child to show them. We can't just tell them, because they probably wouldn't believe us, unfortunately. So we may have to go into Mycon space eventually. But let's first see what else we can get.
When the Ur-Quan entered Gamma Serpentis, the home star of the Yehat, their queen made a sudden change of allegiance and allied with the Ur-Quan hierarchy. They became Ur-Quan combat thralls. This act was viewed by most Yehat starship officers as ultimately dishonorable, the desperate act of a corrupt regent to maintain her throne. The Yehat shame was greatly magnified by the Shofixti's show of courage when they destroyed their own star system to slow down the Ur-Quan armada. Captain, you have heard all that we have to say about aliens indigenous to this region. Should we learn more in the near future, we shall be certain to sell it to you.
Okay, so we are done with that. So let's see. Do we want to look at historical, or do we want to look at the current events? Let's do current events, then we'll do historical. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's going to be 10 levels of each of these, either way we look at it, I believe. Let's go ahead and do a historical. I'm more curious about history right now. I feel like right now we're doing pretty well in figuring out current events on our own, but what historical information can we find out?
Almost 25,000 of your years ago, there existed near this region of space an association of star-faring races called the Sentient Milieu. This group formed over several thousand years to mutually enrich their respective cultures, to provide a safe creche for emerging sentient species, and to afford themselves a degree of protection from external hostilities via military alliance. Of the 7 most active milieu members, the most famous race, indeed, you know them well, Captain, were the Ur-Quan.
Okay.
The Ur-Quan evolved on a harsh planet, orbiting a star outside this region of space. They were solitary predators, like your praying mantis captain, or polar bear, who had a very limited set of social behaviors, most of which dealt with sex. Since they had to compete for survival against many physically superior species. The Ur-Quan evolved intelligence and tool use in much the same way as your own species. The Ur-Quan also learned to master their fierce territoriality, to build a cooperative planetary culture. When the Ur-Quan were discovered by the Ta'eo, they had just begun exploring their solar system in crude atomic vehicles. Although the Ur-Quan attacked what they thought to be an invader, the Ta'eo were patient. They explained the purpose of the sentient milieu and offered the Ur-Quan membership. The Ur-Quan recognized the benefits that such a system provided, and once more conquered the hunting beast within themselves, to become cooperative, productive members of the milieu. This lasted for several thousands of years.
So they were... something had to have happened.
Just over 20,000 years ago, when your ancestors were learning to chart the course of the moon and stars on animal horns, the sentient milieu spanned 500 light years and included the membership of 100 worlds. Like all other star travelers, they had discovered ruins and relics of a far more ancient culture, which your species calls the Precursors. Explorers from many species spent their lives trying to piece together this ancient mystery, but of all races, the Ur-Quan were the most bold adventurers. Their scouts, flying single ships, penetrated far into uncharted space and landed a million worlds. On one such mission, a young Ur-Quan made planetfall on a small, life-bearing alien world to identify some anomalous energy readings, occasionally a sign of precursor installations. Instead, the Ur-Quan found a small, hideous creature, a Dinyari. Before the scout was able to defend itself, the Dinyari creature took control of the Ur-Quan's mind and commanded the scout to place the Dinyari aboard the Ur-Quan's ship, along with hundreds of its evil brood. Then the Ur-Quan returned to the heart of the milieu, landing on its capital planet. Within hours, every resident of the planet was a Dinyari slave. Within a month, Dinyari compelled starships and spread the evil, psychic creatures across the entire milieu.
Interesting. So what else can you tell us about this historical information?
When the Dinyari took control of the milieu, one race fought back, the Ta'eo. These slow, quiet creatures were silicon-based life forms, but bore little resemblance to the modern Chenjesu. Ta'eo were natural immunes to the Dinyari's psychic compulsion. They were unaffected by the creature's power, and the Dinyari would not permit anyone to exist outside their control. So they ordered the remaining races of the milieu to attack and destroy the Ta'eo home planet. This planet was one of the few milieu worlds located in this region of space. I believe you call their star Delta Vulpeculae. Their home was a moon revolving about the second planet. I'm sad to say that the Ta'eo were indeed eliminated. However, at the time of their devastation, they had completed a device. which they thought would give other races psychic immunity like their own. What happened to this device, this shield? It's hard to say. Maybe it was destroyed in the attack on their homeworld. Maybe not.
And maybe that's what we picked up when we were exploring Or's space. Because I remember them saying it was Taelo made that rock thing that we found. I think about an episode or two ago. So, interesting. So why do we need to... I'm assuming there's something we have to do with it. If he's mentioning the Dinyari, are we having to fight the Dinyari? Is that what's going on? I don't know. Let's find out more, shall we? We still got plenty of credits. We have enough for 6 more historical information. That might take us all the way through the historical.
In the Dinyari's new empire, the Ur-Quan were the favored slaves. This is probably because the Ur-Quan were the most psychically sensitive, the most easily compelled. As the centuries of Dinyari dominance passed, what was once the sentient milieu deteriorated and degenerated into a great galactic gulag. Alien races which did not serve with the efficiency and speed demanded by the Dinyari were ruthlessly burned from the faces of their worlds. The agents of this genocide were inevitably the Dinyari's favored pet, the Ur-Quan. After almost 2,500 years of unrelenting Dinyari control, there were only 4 living member races of the once great sentient milieu. By this point, the Dinyari had used genetic manipulation to split the Ur-Quan into 2 subspecies. The green Ur-Quan. Scientists, technicians, and administrators who were responsible for maintaining the limited infrastructure of the Dinyari civilization, and the black Ur-Quan, who filled the ranks of basic laborer and combat soldier. Then, a chance discovery by an Ur-Quan named Kohr-Ah led to the violent overthrow of the Dinyari slave empire.
I'm so curious on what's going on. It's kind of interesting with the historical information, because we're learning more about who the Ur-Quan were, and maybe why they became how they are now.
The Ur-Quan named Kohr-Ah was a green, a researcher specializing in repairing the mental damage inflicted by long-term exposure to the Dinyari's psychic compulsion. By this point in history, the Dinyari had grown lax in their dominance, and, on occasion, accidentally permitted their slaves moments of self-direction. Kohr-Ah was able to use those few scattered minutes to compose a theory. From its observations, Kohr-Ah realized that when a slave died, the Dinyari disconnected from the slave's mind, lest it too be dragged down to death. Further, the Ur-Quan scientist uncovered the fact that when a slave underwent great pain, the Dinyari temporarily disconnected, but that the degree of pain had to be extreme, nearly lethal. Kohr-Ah chose its moment carefully. It waited until it was near an open transmission unit. Then a short moment of mental freedom, the Ur-Quan injected itself with a dose of acidic poison, sending incredible waves of pain through its strong body. In the few moments before its death, Kohr-Ah was able to wrest control of the transmitter to send word of its discovery across the planet and into space as well. Before the Dinyari knew what was happening, Ur-Quan everywhere were hacking at their own bodies with chunks of glass, burning themselves horribly, doing anything that would give them the few seconds of freedom necessary to find the nearest Dinyari and crush the bleeding creature. As they gained longer and longer periods of control, the Ur-Quan developed new tools and weapons to destroy their evil masters. The most gruesome of these devices was the excruciator, a mechanism which was inserted directly into the brain and generated a constant stream of agony. The Dinyari could not bring themselves to make the necessary mental connection with these tortured Ur-Quan. They were slaughtered by the thousands. The Ur-Quan slave revolt was won.
But could you imagine being in pain 24/7 just to stay free? Like, try and imagine sleeping, but yet being in that intense pain all the time. Like, how could you sleep? Because if you fell asleep, you could potentially be retaken over, because you would not be feeling the pain, because if you're not in pain, you would sleep. That's crazy. So what else do you got for us?
When the last Ur-Quan was free of psychic compulsion, when the last free Dinyari was dead, the combined might of the Ur-Quan starfleets met in orbit above the Dinyari homeworld. They had come together to make two important decisions. First, how to punish the few frightened Dinyari left below on the planet's surface. Second, how to ensure that never again would the Ur-Quan be made slaves. The first decision was made swiftly. The Dinyari would not be allowed to die. That was too kind a fate. Instead, the creatures would be genetically modified into sub-sentients. They would become dumb animals. These low creatures would be further debased by serving the Ur-Quan for all eternity in the most demeaning way the Ur-Quan could imagine, acting as translators, making physical contact with other species, whom the Ur-Quan now considered grossly inferior to themselves and revolting. The second decision, how to ensure their freedom permanently, caused great turmoil.
Okay. Interesting. We're finding all sorts of interesting things about why the Ur-Quan are the way they are. That is interesting for sure.
Following the successful Ur-Quan slave revolt, the Ur-Quan met to decide how to ensure their freedom. The Green Ur-Quan, who called themselves the Kohr-Ah in honor of the Ur-Quan who triggered the revolt, wished to establish the path of now and forever, which required that all other sentient species must become slaves of the Ur-Quan or be forever imprisoned beneath an impenetrable force shield. Leading the opposition to this plan was Kohr-Ah, a charismatic fleet officer. Kohr-Ah proposed a simpler alternative, the Eternal Doctrine. Simply put, this scheme called for the systematic eradication of all sentient life in the universe, aside from the Ur-Quan. Captain, if these positions seem to you extreme or unwarranted, you must remember that the Ur-Quan had been unwilling slaves for millennia, and that each of them had to remain in agony for years in order to defeat the Dinyarne. The followers of Kazet-Za and Kohr-Ah were all on the brink of madness, but neither side would submit, and so they fought a bloody civil war.
Those are two extreme different viewpoints for sure. So maybe that's what's going on now with them fighting. Maybe they're deciding on who's right and wrong? I don't know.
This is the last historical item we have for sale. The civil war between the Green Ur-Quan, the followers of Kazet-Za, and their opponents, the death-dealing Kohr-Ah, lasted for decades. It is likely that they would have annihilated each other were it not for a chance discovery by Kazet-Za, a Precusor battleship. The vessel was huge, many times the size of the Ur-Quan's vessels. The Precusor ship sliced through the Kohr-Ah forces in days. The Kohr-Ah were defeated. However, in their victory, the Kazet-Za were humble. They realized that there was a chance that they were wrong, and the Kohr-Ah were right. Instead of destroying the Kohr-Ah, the Kazet-Za let them go, directing them to make their way through the stars, traveling against the spin of the galaxy. The Kazet-Za would travel in the opposite direction, and when the two Ur-Quan forces met, they would fight again in ritual combat, with the Precusor battleship given to the winner. Captain, this is happening here and now. The Kazet-Za, the Ur-Quan who enslaved Earth, are fighting their ritual battle against the Kohr-Ah in a large area centered near the Craterus constellation. If the Kohr-Ah win this battle, Captain, the Kazet-Za will stand aside and let them kill us all. We believe it is your destiny to prevent this from happening.
So that's basically the storyline of Star Control 2. We need to somehow destroy the Precusor battle station or ship that the Ur-Quan have. We need to figure out where it's at and how to blow it up. So that is the storyline. We now officially have the storyline. The great part is we now are to current events. We're going to do this one and then we're going to head on out back to home.
While you probably believe that the Shofixti are extinct, having caused their sun to flare with a device identical to the Utwig super bomb,
Who's the Utwig?
the truth is not so simple.
Did we talk about that?
There yet exists a chance to resuscitate this meta-marsupial species, though it will not be easy. The problem at hand seems simple. Bring together two Shofixti of different sexes, and the carnal gymnastics proceed. Given the short gestation and maturation time of the Shofixti, you will have thousands of the creatures in 10 years and millions in 20. Finding a male of the species is easier than fluff.
Yep.
Simply visit the Shofixti's blasted star system at Delta Gorno. Captain Tanaka, or its sibling, Katana, shall greet you on your arrival. A warning. These warriors are old and fly in barely functional ships. If they mistakenly identify you as the enemy, do not return fire. Retreat and try to talk with them on their own level. The females of the species will be more difficult to obtain. The only supply of such remaining in the galaxy is at Alpha Cherenkov 1, included as part of General Zex's bizarre and beloved menagerie.
Yep.
Fortunately for you, Captain, Zex is considered, well, perverse by his fellow VUX. This is because Zex actually enjoys the presence of human beings. To acquire the Shofixti females, you will have to appease Zex, or kill him.
Yep, we learned that part. So as you can tell, some of these information are great. We will learn probably some things that we didn't already know, like the historical background of the Ur-Quan and how they became what they are, and that them having some type of big precursor battleship or battle platform. That explains why or what we need to do, why the Ur-Quan are currently fighting with these black ships, the Kohr-Ah. And so that was kind of useful. We found about the Taelo already. We found that device that helps protect us against mental, but I don't know why we need it. Unless there's Dinyari somehow still active somewhere. There is a talking pet on Unga. We could go find out about that. That's definitely on our list. We have a lot on our list to do. But we're done buying information.
What else would you like to buy?
We are ready to get home.
It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
Excuse me. Navigate. I wanted to get away from you real quick. To the soul. Oh wow, I didn't realize we were getting that low on fuel either. Okay. Whoa, whoa, hello. I don't know how we missed that. Alright, Starbase Commander, what's going on? I know it's been a while since we last returned.
Captain, I'm glad you made it back in one piece.
Okay, so nothing's happened, but we have minerals to offload.
More fuel for the fire, eh, Captain? That last load should keep it blazing.
Yeah, should definitely do that. Can your scientists analyze what I've acquired since my last visit?
The analysis reads as follows. Subject Taelo device. Data, whoever the Taelo were, they were clever, way past us, probably even beyond the Shenjesu. As far as I can tell, with all our equipment, this thing is a rock. Just a rock. Nothing but a rock. However, if you feed a current into it, anywhere along its surface, everyone on board this starbase who has Esper potential gets a bad headache. Well, we checked a bit more into that, and when the Taelo thing is active, all evidence of Psychon interaction is flatlined. Nothing gets through. Summary, if you keep this Ta'Elo rock device thing on board your vessel, I'll bet you're immune to any form of psychic attack, or at least mostly immune. That's the end of our scientist's report.
Okay.
Blow up an Ur-Quan for me, Captain.
We're gonna outfit our ship, because we need fuel. That's gonna take a good chunk of our fuel, our money. Or you, whichever. Okay. Before we get to modules, we are going to update our ship amounts. Okay, let's go back to modules. Okay, we want cannon. Storage bay is going away. Do we have enough for our tracking system? Yes, we do. Okay, I'm going to get rid of 2 of these. Shiva. Okay, we want one more Shiva. Can we somehow make this work? Oops. Yes. Okay. Our ship just became a killing machine. So we have 3 Shiva furnaces, which is going to help our cannons recharge quickly. We have 3 tracking systems. So that means when we shoot, all 3 shots will direct pretty effectively towards whatever we're shooting. The reason I went down to 1 lander is because they're fully protected. Unless we're really bad about what we're doing, we shouldn't need to worry about it. We'll probably get more in the next... Actually, let's go ahead and just cut down 1 of these. And let's just get a couple of these. Let's get that. That way we're covered. Just in case. Yeah, I cut down our storage bins by 1. So we are at like base again. But the thing is, we now have effectively what I want for right now for attack. Basically. You'll understand when we start getting into combat. This thing is a powerhouse. Alright, so we're going to go out. Oh, yep. Just get us out. I wanted to just go there. Thank you. And we're going to go deal with the Silandro, I think. Actually, I want to go... Yeah, let's deal with the Cilantro first. Cilantro. That's a spice, I think. Alright. Devices. Quasi. Okay. We need to get to that section of space. Which one are we at? Well, my notes. 520. 520. Okay, I think that's it. 514? Yep, okay. That should take us over in that area of space. Okay. Let's see here. Beta Corby, let's go up here and have a conversation with these people. I have no idea what we're going to run into. Let's see if we can figure out which planet they're on. A primordial. Okay, this has some life on it. So let's go ahead and actually get a new save for episode 13. Scan, lander. Yeah, I felt we're going to take a lot of damage here just because there's so many of them. one up, and then we'll come back for the last 4. I think there's another one over here. Yep. Whoop. Whoa! Hello. Okay, I think that's it. Not too bad. We lost 2 people. One thing I do want to let you guys know, I do know we're getting close to the end part of a lot of the exposition that goes on with this game. So the good news is there won't be very many more of some of these episodes going on that way. Another quasi. Ooh, this has some purple. Some uniques. We will take these. So much easier when I don't have to dodge earthquakes everywhere. Alright, let's see. We have a planet up here. Okay. Not the best. No life, though. Okay, we're not gonna worry about it. Okay, what do we have here? Got a planet here. Oh, great. We got some life. This is kind of nice. This is another great solar system for life. That's great. Yeah, we'll grab that. That's fine. Make sure that we're not overloading our database. Okay, let's go the opposite direction. Nice. That wasn't too bad. Got about half a ship. Wonder where these Silandro people are. Let's see. We'll work our way around. Woo! Ew. Nothing on this planet we want. Okay. Well, it's either... Well, that's a gas giant, though. So it shouldn't be there. It should be in this upper area, surely. Well, I guess the Taelo was on the moon. So it could be the same... Yeah, because this doesn't have anything. Is this going to have life? Oh, wow. I'm impressed. This has life on an acidic planet. Alrighty. Wow, those things are worth so much. 3 of them nearly filled up my entire database. Yeah, 3 of these are taking up that whole thing. That is crazy. But I think there's only 3 left, so we can get the last of them. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Well, there's another person that didn't have his seatbelt on. Nice. That was a good chunk. Where were they at? 231. I will take that. So they're not there. So maybe they're on a moon. Because they said he's at Kohr-Ah. They may have said which planet they were on, but I can't remember. So maybe it is on this moon. No? Okay. The only thing we haven't checked is this gas giant. But that doesn't make no sense.
Hello, visitor. We are the Slylandro.
Oh!
I am content to hover, a Slylandro speaker. Your presence here fills us with excitement. We have gotten so few visitors over these many drawn. We hope you can stay to talk with us for a time.
So apparently we have found the Slylandro. The people that have sent those probes. Yeah, so I am Telion, captain of the Earth starship Dayoff. What the heck are you?
Oh, this is terribly exciting. We will be happy to tell you about ourselves if you would please do the same. You see, we Slylandro have been extremely interested in learning about the galaxy, but our physique makes us incapable of leaving our gas giant home. Therefore, we are totally reliant on our infrequent visitors to keep us informed about events outside this planetary system. And visitors usually only show up every few drawn. We hope that our newly deployed exploration probe fleet will not only gather information for us, but inform other races of our presence here as well.
Yeah. Probes? What probes are you talking about?
You know, it's funny. We hadn't heard from the outside galaxy in a whole Jornasa. And then the Melnorme come by and sell us a probe. And just a few hundred rotations later, you show up. Oh, the probes? Right. Well, like we said, just a short time ago, a race called the Melnorme stopped by. They said they had acquired some information revealing our existence, and they wanted to study us if we didn't mind. In fact, the Melnorme said they would pay us for the right to do so. I guess they are biology nuts or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, in exchange for our information, they gave us a probe vessel.
Let's see. Yeah, we'll come down here about the probes here in a minute. But tell us about the other races who have visited you over the years.
Years? Oh, you mean drawn. Well, let's see. There was the Melnorme just a few rotations back. Then we go all the way back over 3 drawn ago to the Ur-Quan and the other milieu guys. The Yuli and the Draw, I think.
The milieu? Where's the milieu? And where are the Yuli and the Draw? We know who the milieu is, the sentient milieu.
Let me remember. That was a long, long time ago. I was only a nymph then. Oh yes, that's it. The sentient milieu was a cooperative association of sentient alien species. The Yuli, the Draw, the Taelo, the Melnorme, the Faz, and the Ur-Quan, who lived across a wide section of the galaxy. They talked with us fairly frequently for almost half a drawn. Then suddenly, the visit stopped, and we haven't heard from them since.
Were there any other visitors here besides the Melnorme or the milieu races?
Yes, there was another race, a highly sophisticated species of shaggy giants who made repeated trips to our world over a period of several drawn. They even installed a broadcasting satellite in orbit around our world, which let us talk with them whenever we wanted. They were called I'm sorry, I can't remember their names. It was a long, long time ago.
That sounds like the Precursors. What else can you tell us about this race?
I wish I knew more of the information you seek, Traveler. But we last saw the Shaggy Ones just over
Shaggy
39
ones?
drawn ago, and very little from that era has remained intact in our history chants. Hold on a minute. Let me consult with associates Joyce Lifting and Solon Plummet. Joyce Lifting, who has a better memory than I, recalls that the Shaggy Ones were described as being worried. They were always hurrying from place to place, seeking knowledge as though they were in a desperate search for some important secret, some answer to a question that they never shared with us. Solon Plummet remembers that the last time the Shaggy Ones visited our world, they came aboard a great circular starship, one even larger than your own. They had discovered their answer and were leaving to go somewhere, and they didn't tell us exactly where somewhere was.
This is extremely important to us. Don't you know anymore?
No, I have told you. One moment. Joyce Lifting transmits. Joyce Lifting has remembered something else, though it does not relate to the Shaggy One's question, answer, or departure destination. What my associate communicates is the description of a set of 10 worlds, unlike all others. The Shaggy Ones either discovered these planets, or, this is garbled, assembled them? We were told the planets were, again this is confusing, organized in some pattern which in some way alluded to the Shaggy One's ultimate fate. One of the worlds was described as orbiting one of a pair of blue stars not far from here.
Okay.
Another of these worlds circled a large white sun.
Okay.
That is all we can remember.
Pair of blue stars. Okay, let me make a note of that. Those are the rainbow worlds. Pair blue stars. Okay. And if it's near here, maybe we can figure it out. Let's see, pardon me, but who exactly are you again?
We are the Slylandro, a race of kind, curious, gas-bagged people.
Okay. So tell us more.
Certainly, provided you share with us similar information.
Do what we can.
What would you like to know?
Well, tell us about your home, this gas giant planet.
Our planet, which we call Source, has no solid surface as yours likely does. Our world is the 500-kilometer band of atmosphere in which we can survive. Below this are the depths, a dark, hostile region, which grows increasingly darker and more hostile the farther one goes. A typical feat of courage for Slylandro juveniles is to sink far enough into the depths so that the juvenile's gas bag is almost ruptured by the pressure. The tissue scars left by the trip last many rotations and are thought to attract comely mates. Above our world is void. When we travel up too far into void, we grow giddy and behave inappropriately.
Nice. Okay, wait, can you tell us about your culture?
We have an egalitarian society here. All are equal. Of course, that doesn't stop some people from being stupid fools or jerks. But on a world as huge as Source, where there are no barriers to restrict your travel, if someone is bothering you, you simply go somewhere else. As you might have guessed, we have no physical technology. In our long history, several of our people have tried to work with objects, constructing weapons and other tools from the carcasses of dead beasts. But eventually, whatever it was they were building got too heavy and dragged them down to the depths.
That would make sense. Well, what about your history?
Since we possess no technology, we have no permanent way to record the passing of events. Instead, we use the history chants, long songs whose rhythms and patterns help prevent the introduction of error into the record. When the Shaggy Ones first arrived over 41 drons ago, we had no words for aliens or ships, for stars or planets. Our skies are an opaque swirl of colors. We knew nothing of the universe outside Source. The Shaggy Ones taught us most of the new words, and after they departed, we remembered them for the many long drawn, until ships from the sentient milieu arrived.
Okay. Well, what can you tell us about your biology?
Our world, which we call Source, has been home to our species for many thousands of drawn. We evolved from simpler, unimodular beings who thrive in atmospheric convection cells. At first, we were little more than mindless consumers who glided at the edge of wind walls, straining the air for small animalcules. But even then, we were social creatures who invented language so that we could better cooperate when herding food into dense concentrations. There are many hundreds of species here in Source, producers, consumers, hunters, and parasites, but so far, we are the only species here to achieve intelligence.
Okay.
My pleasure. Now let's talk about you and your peoples.
Well, let's see. What are those glowy bits inside of you?
Oh my! I forgot! You creatures see in the visual range and can see our... we can't see them. What I mean to say is, they are... we use them when the male and the female... well, look. I'd rather if you didn't ask about them, okay? Especially not in front of Soul and Plummet. She's shy.
You can push it, but I'm pretty sure you, ladies and gentlemen of the viewing community, can figure out what they are and what they're for. If not, then apparently you're not old enough to understand. So exactly how long is a drawn?
The drawn is our primary unit of time. It lasts for an interval equivalent to 4 million rotations of our planet. A drawn is subdivided into 2,000 dranasa. Now please, our turn. Will you tell us about yourselves?
Well, let's see. Most of us come from a large rocky world called Earth. We travel the galaxy in starships seeking knowledge and contact with other sentients. Primary objective right now is to free ourselves from the evil Ur-Quan. And then we are particularly interested in studying unusual planets and life forms. Let's see. Well, we'll stick with the basic. Most of us come from a large rocky world called Earth.
Yes, that seems to be the pattern. Just about everyone who comes by here says they developed on a world a lot like that. As far as we know, we're the only sentient species who's ever evolved in the atmosphere of a gas giant. Of course, from what we know, most travelers like yourselves don't have much interest in gas giants, so maybe there are others like us, Slylandro, out there somewhere.
We haven't discovered them yet, but we travel the galaxy in starships seeking knowledge and contact with other sentients.
That must be great, to leave your planet and roam the stars. You don't know how monotonous living on a gas giant for 3 or 4 drawn can be. Clouds, clouds, clouds. Wind, lightning, clouds, clouds, clouds. That's it. We know a lot about clouds. If you've got any cloud questions, ask us. We have over 800 different symbolic references just to describe them. Most of the time, when we aren't eating, we hover around and talk about what the clouds look like. Of course, the only things we know about are clouds, food, and other Slylandro.
Pretty limited.
So generally, that's what we think the clouds look like.
Yeah, pretty limited. Okay. Well, let's see. Our primary objective right now is to free ourselves, which is true. We're trying to figure out how to defeat the Ur-Quan and this Precusor Battle Platform that they apparently have and are fighting for as a trophy.
The Ur-Quan? The long brownish guys from the milieu with all the eyes and arms? They used to come visit us regularly about 3 drawns ago. They told us about all the interesting things they found from their scouting missions. They were really nice. Why do you fight with them?
Well, I think you're confused because they aren't brown. We're talking about green ones, but there are black ones too.
But the Ur-Quan were such good guys. They had lots of interesting things to tell us about, and they never got impatient with our questions. Well, I guess a lot can happen to a species in 3 drawn.
Yeah?
Like turning green and evil.
Yeah? Well, we can blame the Dinyari, I think it is, on that. So, we are particularly interested in studying unusual planets and life forms, that is true.
Oh! Then you should go check out a planet orbiting a blue star not too far from here. I think there is another blue star right next to it. We can't describe exactly where it is, but the people who told us about it, the Ur-Quan I think, said that it was one of the rarest worlds in space, and that as far as they knew, There were only 10 of these planets in
Yes.
this part of the galaxy.
We'll have to go check it out.
Okay, but please, can we talk about you some more later?
Well, let's talk about your probes.
Sure, if you are interested. In exchange for information about the life on Source, the Melnorme offered to give us a remote exploration probe. It would roam the galaxy gathering information and contacting alien races, and when it had filled its data storage units, it would return here and reveal to us everything it had learned.
Well then, why do your probes attack our ships?
Our probes do not attack.
Yeah, they do.
They have only defensive capabilities. Offensive behavior is not part of the instructions we programmed into the probe. To do so would be reprehensible.
Well? So where exactly did you say you got your probe? We know where they got. They said the Melnorme. So we don't need to probably ask them about that. But let's talk about the probe's programming.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Well, you mentioned the probe's defensive capabilities. Elaborate.
That behavior was hard-coded by the Melnorme. We couldn't mess with it. Essentially, the probe will only fire its weapons if it has been attacked and cannot communicate with the attacker.
Okay. And when defending itself, it uses its lightning weapon?
No. The probe is armed with a battery of missiles. It doesn't use its electrical discharge device in combat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what missile batteries? It's always attacked us with lightning bolts.
That's impossible. It's inconceivable. The electrical discharge device is used only for breaking down raw replication materials into their component compounds for easy gathering.
That sounds about accurate every time we tried to talk to it. So let's go over the general outline of the program.
Sure. It was a difficult task for us, since we'd never done anything like that before. But for the most part, we just adjusted its standard program, which went something like scan for targets as defined in target list. If no current target, then select new target from the current targets list using specified priorities. If current position is at current target, then set current behavior to new behavior based on behavior priority settings. Perform current behavior. Okay, that's the basic program. I said it was simple, and here are the tables used by the program. Target list with associated target priority. Space vessel 5. Transmission source 4. Astronomical anomaly 3. Planet-bearing life signature 2. Raw replication materials 1. Probe behaviors with assigned priorities. Communicate 5.
Okay.
Record data 4. Analyze data 3. Seek replication materials 999. Move to current target 1.
Wait.
That's it.
Why is one at 999?
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about more of the probe.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Let's see if it's something that we haven't already done. Okay,
Okay.
we've already done that. Okay. We know where they got it, but we'll just
From the
ask.
Melnorme Traveler Traders. It was catalog item 2418. Remote self-replicating robot explorer probe. The economy model.
The economy model. Okay. Well, we know why they sold
The
it,
Melnorme
right?
traded it to us for data on the life on Source.
That's what I thought.
They said the information was unique and was worth, I don't really understand their units of exchange. Something like 10,000 Credots or something like that. Fortunately, that was exactly the price of their catalog item 2418. Remote self-replicating robot explorer probe.
Okay. How long ago did you get the probe?
2 or 300 rotations, I guess.
Okay. Well, what was the probe? Because we already did that, so yeah, we need to talk more about this program, because it's definitely something's wrong.
It was sent on a 500 rotation mission to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no catalog item 2418, remote self-replicating robot explorer probe, had gone before.
Nice. Okay, so can you explain the probe's replication ability?
Well, we're not hardware people, so we only know the theory. What happens is that while the probe is exploring space, whenever it's not doing something more important, it hunts for asteroids and similar space junk, zaps it into its component parts, absorbs the debris, and when it has enough raw materials stored inside, it manufactures a perfect replica of itself. So even though we only bought one probe, by now there should be hundreds of probes, maybe even thousands.
Oh yeah. Okay, can we talk more about the probe?
Sure. What would you like to know?
Okay. Tell me about the replication behavior.
I'd be glad to. You see, the probe has the capability to seek out raw materials, process the raw materials into component compounds, collect the compounds, and then, when it has a sufficient supply, it can build a duplicate of itself. We decided that since we had only one probe, we should change the replication priority and crank it up so that there would be more probes sooner.
Yeah. And what priority did you assign the replication to?
Well, the factory setting was 2, in between movement at 1, and analyze data at 3.
Oh.
I told Joyce Lifting
Okay.
to set it a bit higher. Let me ask him what he set it to. Oh,
Yeah.
my. That was a bit extreme, wasn't it? Joyce Lifting told me he changed it to 999.
Yeah.
The highest setting on the dial.
Yeah. What is the effect of the priority settings on behavior?
I'm pretty sure the way it works is that every time a behavior is completed or interrupted, the program selects a new behavior based on the defined behavior target priorities and what kind of target is currently selected. I think a really high priority would cause a probe to focus its attention on that behavior.
Yeah. So basically, replication is at 999. A ship is at highest priority of a 5. So yeah, that's not good.
No, it cannot. It is not programmed for hostile behavior. What is your reasoning?
Okay. We have two ways of doing this. Think about a probe's replication behavior, or think about what a probe does when it meets a ship. I think they both honestly give the same answer. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to think about when it meets a ship.
Spaceships are the probe's highest priority because we want more than anything to make friendly contact with alien races.
Okay. Now think about the replication behavior.
The probe seeks raw materials and processes them in preparation for replication.
Okay, now put this together.
The answer is simple. It would spend more of its time seeking raw materials for its replication process. So what?
Yeah. Now what will it do to a ship, given that its replication priority is set to maximum?
I don't see what you are getting at, but I'll play along with you. Like I said, alien ships are the top priority target. Once a probe scanned a ship, it would instantly move toward it. Then, when it got to the ship, it would initiate communication automatically. When communications were terminated, a new behavior would be selected, and... a new behavior would be selected. And since the replication setting was set to maximum, the probe wouldn't get time to pick a new target. It would use the current target, the ship, for raw replication materials. It would process the ship, break it into component compounds with electrical discharges. Oh no! What have we done? Traveler, you must tell us what we can do! How can we stop the probes from destroying all life in the galaxy?
Well, we're either going to have to hunt them all down. Well, to begin with, if I was with you, it's the Melnorme. Can you broadcast some kind of recall signal? And there's, I don't suppose you have some kind of mega self-destruct code. That'd be great. Let's see if they have something.
Why yes, there is! You're a genius, Traveler! Why didn't we remember that? Oh, there's a problem, though. How are we going to transmit the code? Well, while we ponder that problem, at least we can give you the code sequence. That way, if you run into a probe, you can destroy it without getting shot at.
That's always a nice thing. Goodbye, Salandro gas bags.
Goodbye, human fluid sack.
Yeah, we don't need to bug them about what the glowy bits are inside. But we did find out what that was. This episode was a lot of talking. I can tell you that for sure. There is a pair of blue stars down here. Alpha Pegasi and Beta Pegasi. Those are the only two blue stars together nearby. Let's go down here. We're gonna just go a little bit longer. I just wanted to see if this is where I'm thinking it's at. Let me do a save just real quick, make sure we don't run anything, because if it is one of those planets that I think it is, then we can start hopefully figuring out what type of diagram that these shaggy ones, the precursors, created to tell us which way they went, or whatever symbol they were trying to give us. We have a small drive to go. I guess we could have probably used the device to try and move faster at this point. Ow. Now let's check here real quick. I'm going to assume it's not here because it's typically right up against the sun. So let's turn around real quick and let's check this other. Oh, what we get? Hey, it's a Salandro.
We come in peace.
Yeah, transmit destruction sequence. We can either do that, which we can do.
Engaging self-destruction circuitry.
Doing the transmit, we shall never run into another Salandro if I remember correctly. Because it automatically assumes that you are going to just destroy every single one. Yes, this is where it is. You can see where the planet is right next to the star. Okay, so we actually found possibly 2 of the 10. Yes, this is it. Has some decent minerals. No life, but that's fine. Alright, so we did find the planet. We're gonna go and pick up some of these minerals. Okay. Pretty much got what we wanted. I'm happy. Okay, so we did find it. Now, here's something I want to think about. We found one all the way over here. So, let's see. Let's kind of zoom in here. So if we see this as like a diagram, if we go based off the hypothesis that this is in a line between the two, there could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, of course, where we're at. Maybe 5 here? Six, maybe? Because it looks like there's one right here. And then, yeah. So that'd be 6. So the question then becomes, okay, whoops, we did not want that. If that is true, that's 6 along that line. Now the question is, if that's accurate. We can easily figure that out in next episode. Go to Epsilon Draconis, see if there is actually one there. If there is, then I think we have the line that we need to follow to find more of these rainbows. But the question is, where's the other 5? How does it shape? Because on the map of the game, it has a shape of a arrow. Basically like the arrowhead, like it's a two-sided triangle pointing towards the center of the galaxy. So it's very possible that's what we're looking for. It's like a two-sided triangle with gloom, the gloom star being the central of like the point where they're connected. So the question is, which direction does the second half of the arrow go, if that is what indeed it is, which we will find out in the next episode. So I think we're doing quite well. We are going to go ahead. Nope, stop, just go right here. We'll stop right here. We're going to end it right here, and what we're going to do is in the next episode we're going to explore a little bit further. Let's see, we do have the Salandro figured out. We need to go get the Shofixti maidens figured out. And with that, I think what we're going to do is, as I said, we're going to use that ability to come over here. We're going to see whether or not this has a rainbow star or not, or rainbow world. If it does, then we can kind of continue this upon the same direction. But I do want to stop up in this Lynchus, because as I said, the phrase when I actually read what it said, wherever my notes went, Lynch Nas Pro, it kind of fits, because this says it's Lynchus. I just don't know about that pra or pro, whatever it was at the end of it, what it meant by that. But this fits, just the last part of the name of the system. So we'll check out this area. We'll just see as we're coming through looking for stars. Alright, I have rambled on long enough, but I will see you all in the next one.